Hello, friends. Welcome to Novel Nights. I'm Victoria.
I'm Laura.
I'm Francesca.
And today we're super excited to share some campus novels and academia novels with you today. So if you're feeling the back to school vibes, if you're in the back to school spirit, maybe you have littles going to school, maybe you're going back to school, or maybe you don't have anyone in your life going back to school, but you want to kind of get the vibe and escape into some books, then we have some really exciting recommendations to share with you today. So stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Francesca.
I'm Victoria.
I'm Laura.
And welcome to Novel Nights. Yay! Welcome, everyone. Is this like the Spirit Fingers? Y'all remember that movie? What was that movie? What was it called?
Jazz Hands?
Spirit Fingers. Spirit Fingers.
Jazz Hands?
Bring it on. It's the movie. I was trying to remember the name of the movie. Yes, Spirit Fingers. But anyways, hello, everyone. Welcome to Novel Nights. We're super excited to be here with you as always on this Thursday. And today we're going to be chatting about campus novels and academia novels. So if you have some recommendations, we'd love to hear from you. So let us know in the comments some of your favorite campus novels and academia novels. Replay crew, we'd love to hear from you as well. So share them with us in the comments. But before we get into the book recommendations, let's get a quick temperature check on how the week has been going. We'd love to hear from you as well if you're watching us live. Let us know in the comments how your week is going. And if you did anything new or exciting, I'd love to hear from you. So Laura, what's been new this week?
So my AC was fixed, which is a big news because for the past 2 weeks I've been living without an AC in Florida. And the struggle is real. So it was fixed, and now it's like I can wear my sweatshirts and my cozy clothes. This is what I love. It's like I get to live my full weather, but then I just go outside and have sun. So it's great. And I've been busy just doing listicles and launching a paid Substack. So lots of new things are happening for the paid community, including a Toxic Reads series. I'm going to read Twilight for the first time. I've never read Twilight. I have no idea what starts, so we're going to see. But I've been told it's a toxic read, so we're going to go with it.
Yeah, that's really fun. I don't even know where the week went by, honestly, because I feel like I really didn't get anything done that I wanted to, although I did. But yeah, I feel like it's just flown by. I did book my tickets. I'm going on vacation next week, so I got all that done. And I've been trying to figure out, packing and clothes and that kind of stuff. At least I don't have the book problem when I go on vacation because I'm a digital reader. So it's just, I got to make sure I got my e-reader and the audiobooks on my phone and I am good. I don't know how you guys do it when you're having to travel with physical books. It's just impossible.
It's called you budget space just for the books. But to be fair, I'm very basic when it comes to clothing. So I can travel light, although lately I've become very indecisive and out of practice. But once upon a time, I would just have okay, this is clothes, these are the books, and here's some more space for more books, because we know we're going to buy more books when we go on holiday. So you budget the space. But we're really excited. Laura got her AC, Fran's going on holiday. What's new for me? I am joining the Substack community. I actually announced it to my community members today. Some people are excited, which has me excited. They're already signing up. So I'm going to move them over tomorrow, but I've preloaded content, which is exciting. So people can watch the very first inaugural Epigraph Literary Festival. All those videos are up, all our reading guides, every single one from summer 2020 to present. And I do 4 seasonal guides a year. They're all there. What else did I upload? Oh, book club replays. Did book club replays today as well. So I think the biggest and exciting thing is the fact that the community is going to Substack. Still watching Lady in the Lake. Last episode was like, I think it's my closest to 5-star. I gave it 4.5 stars. Like, it's not 100% there, but it was so good. I think episode 5 is the best one so far. We have 2 episodes left. I don't know what I'm going to watch after that ends. So folks, if you have recommendations, let me know in the comments. Yeah, I love stuff. What to watch next? Book to screen adaptations, though. I'm focusing on book to screen adaptations. Don't send me down another rabbit hole. But if you're watching anything good, again, I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments. But right now, Lady in the Lake is giving, and episode 5 so far is the best. Yes, it's slow. So maybe if you started, it's slow. But episode 5 is giving, and we have 2 more to go. So yeah, I'm excited to see.
I do have a recommendation for you. So it's a show that I'm watching that the 2nd season is coming out in early September. Tell Me Lies, which is the Carol Lovering toxic relationship.
I read that.
Path, Steven DeMarco, this steamy, like really crazy process. So it's very millennial coded. They're in college in 2007. It is definitely similar to the book. It is different from the book. So it has deviations. It's on Hulu. I'm watching the 1st season. I'm on episode 3 because my co-host recommended it to me, and it's engaging. It's actually the same vibes that we're talking about. So it's set in a college. So get the campus vibe and get a sociopath as your love interest.
I remember that book. I actually even remember the cover because I'm that psycho who remembers the pretty pink cover, tell me lies, tell me lies, tell me lies all over the place. So that is interesting. Okay, I think I just looked it up. I see it has 2 seasons. Yeah. So yeah, I might go down that rabbit hole. I do know Stephen King has something coming in October. I'm trying to remember the, what do you call it? The platform what's the name of the book? Now I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, it's not The Shining. Is he doing over No, it's not The Shining. I don't remember. But Stephen King is redoing something this fall. So I'm excited to see that.
Then we have The Perfect Couple by Ellen Halloran, which I think Nicole Kidman is starring in Netflix. That's coming out next month, I think, too. So one rich people behaving badly, set in Nantucket, that's another vibe. Just have an Indian summer opportunity.
Yeah, like I'm actually searching as we speak. Yeah, I'm interested. So again, folks, if you have any book to screen recommendations, we'd love to hear from you. So let us know in the comments. But anyways, today we are talking book to screen, not book to screen.
No.
Clearly, that's a rabbit hole I want to go down. No, we're talking campus novels and academia novels. Okay, so before we get going, just quick temperature check. Do y'all know what the difference is between campus novels and academia novels? Who wants to give it a try?
So campus novels being set at a college and kind of coming of age stories as far as like the theme. And for academia, it could be anywhere. It doesn't just have to be a college, but it does have to involve the academia theme. So it could be anything else, it can be a high school, it can be teachers, it can be lab, research, PhDs, whatever.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I actually went down a whole deep dive on the podcast. I think it was last year or maybe the year before. I don't remember. But it was kind of like differentiating campus novels and academia novels because I noticed some people use them interchangeably, but there are differences. So I agree with you 100%. Campus novels are 100% my jam. Those are the ones that have the coming of age story. Like you said, it focuses mostly on students. Although I will say campus novels can center the faculty, actually, because I do have one that centers faculty, but it is on a college campus. So I think that's like a very definitive thing. So students and teachers on campus, and they're more coming of age, because yes, even teachers still come of age, and it's more about the relationships. I feel when it comes to narrative, I don't know if you all agree, but with the academia novels, it can be set in like a college environment. However, you can have, what do you call those places, like research institutions, I mean, research labs, you know, medical places, high schools. And I find that those books focus more on the, what is it, like the academia, the, what do you say, like the academic portion of it.
Right.
So, you know, like one person who I know is super popular always comes to mind, well, I can't say for all her books, but in the beginning, is like Ali Hazelwood. You know, the thing about reading an Ali book, like when I read The Love Hypothesis, is Ali makes you feel smart in a way, because she kind of gets into the gritty. So if you know about it, then you're like, okay, yes, I'm feeling smart, or you're learning about it. So it's like you get a lot of the academic stuff in there as well. And instead of focusing on themes of like identity, it's the struggle within the community you're in. So if you're like in a research lab community, or like medical setting, or some other professional setting, it's like how y'all are functioning in that space. You know, that's kind of how I think about it. So like academia is on like more detailed, you know, implications, relationships, whereas campus novels is more the social issues, you know, student life and interpersonal. What do you all think? But that's my take anyway.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Yep. So for folks out there, campus novels are a genre. All right. They are a genre. They're one of my faves. I would say they're a subgenre of like contemporary literature. But again, I would say some campus novels I read are like early 20th century, like when I really think of like classics, which I'm going to share a classic recommendation with you all as a part of my list. But as per usual, we're going to split up. We're going to share our book recommendations. So, yeah, who wants to go first? Wait, did Fran go first last time, or Laura go first last time?
I went first, so I think Fran should go first.
Fran goes first this time.
All right. Oh, actually, hold on, because it kicked me off before. So let me just do this real quick.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry. I don't know what happened with it. It just like decided to kick me off.
The peoples are fine.
Okay. So my first recommendation, I'm gonna try to give you guys some more like traditional, and then some. I went off the wall a little bit with some paranormals as well. So I'm taking some liberties with interpretation. You can always expect that with me. Yes, I wanted to bring stuff that's different. Okay, so the first one, you were just talking about it, is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. And I wanted to make sure that I included this one here because, like you said, she'll make you feel smart. And it's definitely a book that's going to bring all of those academia vibes, the struggles, especially for a female in that environment as well. And also like faculty politics and things like that. It is a grumpy sunshine dynamic. There's some fake dating. There's a workplace romance. The heroine is a PhD candidate. And basically she ends up fake dating a professor. So it also is very funny. I find that it includes plenty of humor as well. So it kind of has everything that you would want in a rom-com, while at the same time really delivering on that academia part and giving you all of the, like all of those faculty kind of politics and all of the mess of that. So I think that that's a great entry point into it. It's not super heavy. I think that Ali Hazelwood did a really good job at making it lighthearted. And even if you are not familiar, it's not like your field, you still really understand everything. And you kind of get a glimpse of what that life is, but in a way that is still relatable. So I really, really like that one. My second choice, I'm going to go paranormal with this one, and it's Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead. So in this one, we do have a kind of like a boarding school, but we have vampires, and these vampires also have what's called a Dampier. It's basically their bodyguard. And the boarding school or this training academy is where the Dampier, which is the bodyguard, has to train to protect their vampire, which they're kind of like royalty in this world. So they are training to protect. And there's also, the series goes for like 5 books, and the heroine ends up kind of falling in love with her mentor. And, there's a little bit of forbidden romance. You could kind of say that they're royalty, like the vampires. So they have that royalty vibe. There's plenty of action. I just love this series. So definitely really recommend that. It is a YA fantasy or YA paranormal. So you're not going to have a ton of theme or anything like that, but the romance is top notch. I love this couple. They did make this into a movie. Do not recommend. Speaking of adaptations. Then the next one that I have is going more to a high school. It's Beauty and the Bowler by Ilsa Madden Mills. So in this one, the heroine is the librarian at the school, and so it is a faculty relationship. And the hero was an ex-NFL, I think, quarterback, if I remember correctly. And he's grieving the death of his fiance, and he goes back to his small town. He ends up being like the football coach, and the townspeople really don't want him to leave so that the team at the school could actually prosper and, win tournaments and whatever. So they want him. They're really trying to set him up with somebody local from the town so that he can stay. And the heroine had just recently moved back into town to take care of her sister after her mother's death. And they end up this relationship, but they did have a previous meeting. He just doesn't remember her. They kind of had like a one-night stand at a party. He has no idea that it's her. And in order for him to kind of like get rid of all those women that the townspeople are pushing on him, they end up having a fake dating relationship. They're also next door neighbors. So it's a neighbors to lovers and fake dating and kind of like that workplace scenario. So it does deal a little bit of the academic politics of the two of them dating while, they're in the school and all of that. So a little bit of sports, a little bit of the academic environment there. The next one, I'm going for a taboo relationship, and it's a student-teacher romance. It's Black Rainbow by J.J. McAvoy. And this one, the two main characters actually have a 1-week fling. And she met him, he's a musician, so she met him playing at a bar, and they have this amazing week together, and they were basically just going to part ways. And when she goes into her class at the college, she wants to be a lawyer, so she's in law school, and she goes into her class, and he turns out to be her professor. And now she's vying for one of like the 12 people that he's going to take under his wing, and she's kind of like deciding whether she's going to pursue that, or because of the previous relationship, she's going to kind of take a different class. But she really needs to take the class because he's the best, and she's trying to deal with some stuff with her father, with her family. So this is another one, a little bit of taboo. It's not super taboo again because the age is not, then nothing is underage or anything like that. So I really enjoyed it. Was a great one, and it does deal with a lot of the academic politics. Obviously, their relationship is forbidden, and it deals with some of the faculty politics of academia as well. And the last one is a gothic romance. It does have a slight paranormal element. It's called The Headmaster by Tiffany Rice, or Rice. I'm not really sure how you say her name. This one is a gothic romance. It is set at a boarding school for all boys in a remote town, I think in West Virginia, if I remember correctly. And the heroine is, I think, grieving the death of her fiance, and she ends up like driving aimlessly, and she finds this school, this boarding school, applies, gets the position to teach there. It's an all-boys school, and she gets the job. So she starts working. Everything seems like one of those places where it's a perfect environment. Everything is too perfect. And it's eerie and has that gothic vibe. And obviously, there's a little bit of mystery too. So it's a great kind of atmospheric read. And there is a relationship that develops between her and the headmaster at the school. So, yep, something a little bit different, but I wanted to give you guys a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it sounds like you did give us a little bit of everything. I mean, I'm excited. Laura, what did you think about those books? Oh, you're on mute, love.
Yes, I had to mute myself. I'm excited for the Vampire Academy. I feel like this is like one of the seminal texts, that I missed, that I'm looking for. And Tiffany Rice knows how to write some good erotica. Like her Thanksgiving book is actually one of my favorite books ever. So I'm like, maybe I should read her Gothic.
Yeah. This is the one that caught my attention, the headmaster. Like, I'm really keen on that one. It sounds really good. But yeah, all around good Rex. Okay, I'm gonna go next. If I can figure out how to change this thing. But anyway, I don't know what's up today. All right, so I did promise in the beginning that I was gonna share a classic, right? Because there are quite a few classic novels out there. I'm also gonna try and share some books. My intention was maybe some lesser known, but maybe they didn't get enough love. I feel people always think of like, The Secret History. That's very popular. I think people also think of, what's that other book? Brideshead Revisited, and in terms of like a classic. And I am recommending an Evelyn Waugh because I think nobody does satire like he does. But the one I'm recommending that I think is much better than Brideshead Revisited is Decline and Fall. So again, I feel no one writes satire like Evelyn Waugh. So this is a satire of English school life, and this is set in the 1920s. So in this one, we meet a student at Oxford. His name is Paul. He's expelled from the school for a crime he didn't commit. And we see him having to navigate his way through a series of misadventures in order to, regain his licensure and get back his academic career. Now, I'm telling you, if you want a good laugh, this is the story for you. I think it's very entertaining, from start to finish. And like I said at the top, I think no one does satire like Evelyn Waugh. I know people tend to push Brideshead Revisited, and I appreciate Brideshead Revisited for, what it is. I personally feel this one is better. So I highly recommend Decline and Fall. Okay, so that's the classic. Now let's get into the contemporary. And one I really enjoyed is Catherine House. Now this one really gives you the Gothic vibes. So I think it's good for back to school and as you're really getting into the season of fall. So you're going to get, like I said, campus novel, Gothic, literary suspense as well. So this one is set at an elite university, very kind of posh, high end. And we see some undergrads who, they're kind of like troublemakers, I guess you could say. They're rebellious, they're also curious. And we see them uncover like a really, I guess you could say, shocking to some degree secret about another circle of students, right? And we kind of see the dark truth of the school come to the surface. It's like one of those places where, everyone wants to go. But once you get there, like, can you really leave? So this is a university that has, secrets built into the walls. And we see this one student in particular who discovers the history of the school, which is very dark, and finds herself kind of wrapped up in it all. So, this is more like a thrilling campus novel. But I think, as you're reading, you'll kind of want to get some more from it. Okay, the next one I'm recommending is Vladimir. Now, I was obsessed with this book so much. Not a fan of the cover. I have this is a hardcover. I think they redid it for the paperback. I didn't download the paperback. I didn't read the paperback, and I don't know what that cover looks like. But I know people are up in arms about this cover, but I'm sorry, it is fine. It's what's inside that really matters. Now, this is a debut, by the way. So Julia May Jonas, and I will read anything this woman's write. But this one centers on the teacher. So kind of like with Decline and Fall, Evelyn Waugh, this one focuses on an English professor. Now, here's the thing. We're really getting into her personal life as it relates to her at school. So she's an English professor. Her husband is also a professor at the same school, right? They are married. And the husband was accused of inappropriate behavior by fellow students. So again, trigger warning if if that's something that's sensitive to you. And so we see him being accused. We see her, right? We're getting her point of view, having to stand by him. But then the situation gets complicated when she ends up with an obsessive kind of relationship with another member of the faculty. Okay, it is a whole mess. However, I will say, in addition to, the mess of that situation there, it starts off kind of tame, it gets intense, and that ending, I'm just going to tell you all that ending is giving. I also loved how Julia was really descriptive, not just about the campus and the students, but also about like these dinner parties that she would have at her home and just like entertaining people. Not really say dinner party per se, but just like entertaining. So we see her having to stand by her husband who has received all these accusations, inappropriate accusations by his students, then her ending up in an inappropriate relationship. And then you see her navigating, dealing with her child, who is kind of aware of its own. So yeah, it's very, I loved it. So if you love a good character study, you'll go down the rabbit hole with that one. Okay, another one I love is Real Life by Brandon Taylor. I'm a huge Brandon Taylor fan. I read anything this man writes. And Real Life was really, really good. Now, this one is set in a Midwestern university town. And it follows our main character who is queer, is Black, and very introverted. So he's originally from Alabama. And like I said, he's gone to the Midwest to go to school. And as he's doing his degree, we see him having to navigate life at the university, discovering who he is, his identity. So there's that coming of age. But also he has some stuff in his past as well. He's a bit distant from his friends. I'm sure we all knew someone like that in school, or maybe we were that person in school. So a bit distant from his friends. Some of them are kind of involved in, complicated relationships. And we just kind of see him just having to deal with everyone, and over a summer weekend, mind you. So he's at school still during this time, and we just see unexpected encounters. We see some desire, and it really is a study about how do we overcome, or personal baggage, I guess you could say, and all of that. So that's Real Life by Brandon Taylor. Really, really enjoyed it, and I think it's a great campus novel. And yeah, it says so on the cover. It was nominated for the Booker Prize, which big deal for him, and I was so happy for it because I love the book. Okay, the next one, the last one on my list is We Wish You Luck by Caroline Zancan. I think this was really good. I had fun with it as well. This one centers on a group of graduate students. I think it's like 3 or 4 of them, if my memory serves me right. And we see them seeking revenge on a professor after the professor essentially ruins the life of one of their friends, right? So this is like, kind of vindictive-ish in a way. But we also see them having to navigate their interpersonal relationships and just, their obsessions and their ambitions on campus, which is very highly competitive. So, this is what this is a story that really explores, like, friendship, competition, ambition, the dark side of envy, and just, shared experiences amongst this group. So basically, this is a takedown novel. So we see these friends essentially kind of going after this professor, but we also just see them navigating their existence amongst themselves. But so my last one is We Wish You Luck. So yeah, those are my three. Have you all heard of any of these?
I haven't, but I have to say I'm really excited for the messy Vladimir.
Listen, that book, I remember I recommended that book in one of my guides, and quite a few people read it and they're like, oh my God, the mess. But then I remember we had a festival. I don't remember what festival because I can't remember what year the book came out, but it was at Epigraph and it came up in the chat. And every festival I have to come in a chat and defend Sally Rooney, defend Sally Rooney's honor. Right, anyone who's been to Epigraph knows like Sally Rooney is gonna come up, and it was in the midst of that Sally Rooney conversation, and you notice I did not recommend Normal People because I know people know Rooney. You see, I love her, but I'm just like, no sis, you're gonna sit this one out. But anyway, it was during the Sally Rooney conversation, Vladimir came up, and when I tell you the comments. The comments were steady and good and laughing at Amanda and I defending Sally against Llewellyn and Kaylee. And when Vladimir came up, it was just like, like the chat went off, okay? It went off completely. First, they were like really going in on the cover. Hated the cover, but loved the story. I felt it was evenly split. Some of us didn't care. I was team. I didn't care about the cover. The other half were like, we pray they change it for the paperback. And I think they did. I don't remember. But then when we were talking about the material, the mess, I mean, it really was messy. And then to see like the students turn on the teacher, even though she's like pro victims and, putting your piece out there. But again, it just complicates things because, you're married to the man. And then you end up in your own situationship, obsessive. Yeah, it's a mess. But it's such an escapist read at the same time. And one more time, there's a cover.
Cover screens romance novel. As you can see, because I have a Sherwood Busman cover in my recommendation. I thought this was a romance novel. And I was like, oh, okay, Vladimir. And then when I heard it was a messy literature, I was like, oh, maybe so. It's a different audience. I will buy the cover, not the
yeah. And that's the problem when the covers. That's the problem when the covers don't get designed for the right audience, because you're going to get a romance reader that's going to pick it up because of the cover, and then they're not going to like the book because maybe they don't read the genre. And then vice versa, the ones that do read the genre are not going to pick it up because they're going to think it's a romance. So
no facts.
I don't understand.
No facts, because this one is very literary. Make no mistakes. But the guy on the cover, the Vladimir guy, based on how he's written, he's supposed to be like really good looking. Oh, and the mess. Okay, this is not a spoiler, but the mess is, so Vladimir is the person she's obsessed with, the wife, right? Mm-hmm. Vladimir has, I think they're married. Yes, a wife with a child. Wait for it. And then the wife, his wife, right? Like she's an academic, but she's also going through like her whole drama. And if my memory serves me right, she ends up in a whole perceived, I remember reading it and we were like wondering like, okay, is she involved in some other something with the husband? Listen, that book was a whole mess. Folks, if you all read Vladimir, okay, if you all read the book, if you all remember, because, my brain, old age, I'm kidding, it's late. But if you all remember this book, let's talk about it in the comments. Again, we love to hear from you guys. Tell us about your favorite campus novels, your favorite academia novels. And if you read Vladimir and if you thought it was a mess, let's talk about it. Okay, so our friend Laura is up next.
So I went back to college novels, like mainly college novels. My first career was working at college in academia. I got my master's degree. I was like bushy-eyed. I was like, I'm going to be a higher administrator. I'll be a college president one day. And so I worked there for 10 years. I worked at NYU, Texas A&M, like pretty big schools. So when I started reading again, I discovered college novels to be kind of like fascinating reminder of that old career, but at the same time, a little bit of like romance and how they got it wrong most of the time. But I have 4 novels. Two of them are on Kindle Limited, so if you're looking to borrow, and some of them are available in the library. So the first one is The Hookup by Kristen Callahan. This is an oldie but a goodie. It was reprinted, but it's available on Kindle Limited. It's a college football series where she wants to graduate. She wants to do she's ambitious, and he's the college quarterback. He's a Heisman. He's about to win the Heisman Trophy and all those things. And their opposites attract. She doesn't want to hang out with him. He wants her. He falls first. And it's just fun. The second book is delightful. The third book is professional football. And it features a virgin hero, and as you know, and who has been pining for the heroine. So it's a fun series. There's multiple books in the series, but the first 3 books are the ones that I recommend to read. And I believe they're available in Kindle Limited. So if you want to borrow them, you can borrow them. So the next one is actually one of my all-time favorite novels, and I'm so sad that she no longer writes romance. And it's I See London by Chanel Clayton. This is her debut novel, and it's set in an international college in London. The heroine was supposed to go to Harvard, and she didn't get in, as one does. And so she ended up going to this international school in London to kind of based on this School of Economics. And so she's trying to be I think in politics, and she falls hard for this guy who's the playboy. He's billionaire, he's rich, he's Arab, and he's just he gives her mixed signals, and they end up together. There's 2 books in the series. I See London, London's Falling. The first one ends in a cliffhanger. The next one tells you the whole story. And then there's French Kiss, which is the 3rd book in the series, and it's about her friend or his stepsister, and it's about, I think it's something French. But if you want to travel to London and college and imagine to study abroad or international school, this is a fun series. It's actually one of my favorite series of all time. I read it a couple of times. Chanel now writes historical fiction set in Cuba. But I really like her romance novels. They're kind of fun to do. You can find the audio on Hoopla and Libby. These were just picked up or printed, and I believe you can get the paperbacks in your local bookstore. So the next book is the Campus Night series, which is Secret Pact, and there's 4 books in the series. It's Rebecca Denchuk has a world of campus novels set in Arizona. So these are the hockey series, but she also has a basketball series, and she has professional hockey, and so there's a whole world. So if you like the series, then you can go back to it. The books are in Kindle Limited. I actually read them before they were in Kindle Limited, so they were worth the extra $4.99. These are just your regular, second chance romance. He falls first. Best friends to lovers, roommates to lovers, enemies to lovers. There's a little bit of everything. You can read them out of order. You do not need to read them in person. They all live in the same apartment. The hockey team lives in the same apartment. The girls live in another apartment. And so it's kind of they're essentially dorm living. So you get the idea, we're in college. They have fun college experiences. They have a scavenger hunt. So it's really reminiscent of what it means to be in college. So they're the hockey series, and the Cyst is the basketball series. And the final one is actually, we're going to go to the school setting for Getting School. This one is an Audible exclusive, so you might be able to get the audiobook. I'm not sure if it's an Audible Plus, but it was at one point. And then they reprinted the copy, so it started as an audio first. This is a high school football. They're actually high school sweethearts who she ended up moving to California, and for some reason her life falls apart, like this one does in a romance novel. And she ended up going back to her hometown in New Jersey. And he has been the football coach. He was a star quarterback, and he's a football coach. And she has to go back to work at the school that he works. And so he's like, I'll guide you to go other places. And they start a relationship. I want to share a trigger warning. There's a death of a dog. And so if you do not want to have the death of a pet, skip this one. I was shocked by it, and it's a really noticeable death. But it was fun as an audiobook. It was delightful. I think the audio quality is much better than the actual like reading, but it's it was an audio first. So those are some of my stuff, and I believe Getting School has a follow-up book. Again, they're interconnected, so they're not. You don't need to read them in order. The only one you need to read in order is I See London and London Falling because that's duet. And those are my recommendations.
Hey, so fun fact, because I had no clue. Chanel wrote romance before historical fiction.
Yeah,
I was completely ignorant because I just know what was that book, the Havana book? Oh, it's in the other bookshelf. I was like, that was the first thing I read from her, and then I read the Key West one and this one, and so I only know her as historical. So I'm actually intrigued.
So these are
I actually never read that one that you recommended. I loved her military one though, like with the oh god, what is that called? What's the name of that series? I love that series. The second book especially, where the hero is like there's some kind of grief that he's going through. I don't remember, and then the third book.
Yes, I heard about the third book. It's so good.
The third book killed me. I was in tears. I was dying. Also, I have to co-sign on your recommendations for Kristen Callahan and Emma Chase. Loved both of those, and with Emma Chase, both of the books I really enjoyed.
Yeah, so Chanel went to school in London, so this is kind of loosely based on her life. And then she also was married to military, right? So they mostly like her books are based on like life experience. Experience. But yeah, she actually went to school in London, and so this is her debut novel. So yes, right away we know, and about an American going to a British school for college.
Very interesting. Yeah, I know nothing outside of historical, so I think that's the rabbit hole I might end up down. Yeah. But anyway, folks, we want to hear from you. Let us know in the comments your favorite campus novels, academia novels, stories about students, about teachers, about, just faculty, everyone. In between. We would love to hear from you. We'd love to get your recommendations. We shared ours. If you read any of these books, we'd love to hear from you too. So let us know in the comments. Again, I'm waiting to hear if someone read Vladimir and if they thought it was just as messy as I did, because it was a mess. It really was a mess. But anything am I missing? What else do I want to let the people know? Oh, or shows, I think, because I got kicked off. I'm going to have to put it up again. There we go. So we did our summer favorites already. Again, so just catch the replay. That was a fun episode. We just did campus and academia novels. So next week, we are doing Secret Society, college books. I mean, who knows? Maybe we even have some taboo books to throw in on the list. Books about teachers. We're really going to just throw it in the mix. So I know we really focus on campus and academia, but next week we're really going to just, go a bit broader. So I hope you'll join us again Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. New York time. So wherever you are in the world, just, set that alarm. Well, also, we schedule our lives in advance. So you can click that reminder. So the next time you happen on our pages, and you see, live is scheduled, you can also hit that reminder, but also subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bells, so you'll know when we go live, when we upload, and what's new. But this is what we have set up for Novel Nights, and we hope you'll join us. Did I miss anything at all? No, I don't think so. So again, everyone, just remember, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Okay, friends don't keep the good news to themselves. So tell a friend to tell a friend, and join us again next week, 7 p.m. Eastern. All righty, friends. Bye.
See ya.